Hello, and welcome to another episode of Hotel Room Yap with Michaela. It is Saturday night here in Vancouver at the Sutton Place Hotel, which continues to be very lovely. This couch is so fun, these fun little pillows, and I like a good lamp. You know what I mean? Just, it's very cute, nice lighting. I feel like the coat is really making the vibe, you know what I mean? I had like a bunch of different things that were kind of on my mind, about 30 minutes ago. And I was like, oh, I kind of want to yap about this, and then I kind of want to yap about that. And I kind of want to just circle back around to how I was feeling this morning, which is kind of just generally depressed. And I think I'm just like there's too much happening up here these days. And I figured, honestly, maybe, I don't know. many of you could potentially relate to that right now. Yeah, in a bit of a position where I feel like I'm making sure that I'm present and like happy when I'm meeting people every day. Ooh, I shouldn't do shoes on the couch. Sorry. Okay. Should I take off the shoes? I feel like the fit is cute right now. We're gonna keep the shoes for a second longer. Yeah, I feel like I need to be happy for people, not being inauthentic, right? Because as Uncle Iroh often mentions, if you look for the light, you will often find it. If you look for the dark, that is all you will ever see. And there is light to be found in I believe, in every situation, in every reality, in every moment. We can choose to continue to find the positive things. It can be as simple as you walk outside and you see the sky, or you are alive, and it can just, there are so many things to be grateful for. And so I'm not being inauthentically happy. I'm very happy to be here, and every time I meet somebody who's excited to talk about the show, or talk about one of the other movies or video games that I did, or talk about their cosplay, or talk about how they met their partner by watching the show and then fell in love and now they're married and they named their cat Azula, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is your cat evil? These are all fun things, but sometimes it's hard for me in certain moments of getting ready or in between to just, I guess, I don't know, to continue that feeling. I feel a little heavy just in regard to the world. The wildfire situation in California was a wild way to start this year. I am very grateful to have spent New Year's in Thailand because a girlfriend of mine got married, and I decided to bring my mom so that we would spend time together, and then we landed, and literally the next day is when the fire started in Los Angeles. And I recognize, as I sit here in this very cool coat that I thrifted in Manchester, England, I love it. I love this coat so much. It's so much fun. But I realize that like that sentence has so much privilege in it. Oh, I just, was in Thailand for New Year's, and then I got back to LA, and then the fires. So like, I understand. There's a lot of privilege in that sentence. It just, I was hoping to have a bit of a breather before travel got crazy and before I like really tried to hit the ground running with a lot of my acting stuff. I would love to be on camera, and it is a tough time in any creative industry right now, and any industry period. I mean, there's tons of layoffs happening all over the place, but especially in the acting worlds, I mean, there's just so much saturation and so much not great content being made, and then there's some good stuff, but nepotism is still kind of a thing, but also they just like to use familiar names so they can keep promoting and it's just a very strange time. And I'm very Irish. I speak only English fluently. I can speak a little bit of basic Chinese and French, and I can make my way around a stunt scene pretty well, I guess. I got my motorcycle license. I can ride horses. I dance. I do some trapeze, right? I am not going to be bringing any sort of diversity to a cast or a set, and that's fine, but it's tough because there's a lot of white chicks in LA who are trying to be actors, and it's fun. It's great. I understand that, but whenever I'm trying to be like, hey, I wanna, anyone interested in repping me? I'd love to work with you. Blah blah blah. There's already 600 of me on their roster, so here we sit. Anyway, I was hoping for January to be a little bit more of a breather. And it was not. I got very panicked. I was just stressed for 2 weeks straight. I was not able to focus. I was not able to clean. I wasn't able to game plan for the year. It felt like the entirety of Los Angeles was on hold. Everyone was moving. Some people had to evacuate 3 times from different areas because they moved to one area and then that whole place had to evacuate. And people lost their homes and thankfully, I think most people got out with their animals, but some people lost their animals and their possessions, and like everyone's questioning the validity of it being this like natural cause, and it took way too long to start like taking care of anything, and how come all the people and citizens of LA are doing something and like the people in charge, supposedly, quote unquote, I think it's all a sham now. Not that I didn't before, but like definitely now. Where the hell are they? What is going on? I've heard nothing. Nothing has been pushed of like, hey, citizens of LA, it is okay. Here's the game plan. Anyway, so it's just that and the inauguration of, oh gosh, our current president, just lots of chaos and extremes from many directions. Yeah, that's on my mind constantly. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to lock down and help rebuild. People who are aged like 27 to 37, we have rebuilt a freaking lot, okay? 9/11, 2008, freaking COVID. Are we good on the rebuilding? Hello? Are we going to have Social Security even existing that we've been paying taxes for decades? Hello? Like, I'm so freaking tired. People are, you have to, people don't want to work. Yeah, we have been working. Way too many jobs for way too many hours. For way too little money. What the heck? And no, it is not the people who have $3 or $4 million. $3 or $4 million is not going to change the world. That is the price of like 3 houses in Los Angeles. Not that I'm saying that it should be, but the millionaires are not the issue. Like, celebrities are not the issue. Maybe there's a couple of them who are like really, really up there, but most celebrities work really freaking hard and are really talented. So people need to freaking get off their high horses about the celebrities being the issue. They're not, okay? Couple $1 million ain't it. It's the people who don't have Instagram. We have no idea who they are. They own half of the oil in the world. They have billions of dollars. That is who has all the money. One of them, Mr. Tesla, is on display. That's a good example of one, right? He's weird and he likes attention, so we get to see a lot of him. I'm just so tired of people being like, oh, you're a millionaire, you should blah blah. I'm like, bro, $2 million goes fast. And I know that that's crazy to say because a lot of people live on a lot less than that. A lot of my years of living were 28 to 30K a year, so I definitely feel in comparison to that, yes, $1 million is of course a lot of money, but it's not going to change the world. You cannot solve world hunger with $1 million, unfortunately. Maybe you could make a good game plan. You could maybe afford a really good game plan to solve world hunger, but that goes fast. It's just anyway, there's lots of things running around my head constantly, and I'm unsure of how to navigate it and what I should do in reaction to all of it. I don't even know what to read anymore. I don't know what to listen to. Everything has some sort of bias, and I feel like it's all on purpose so that we are confused and overwhelmed, and people who do have that insane kind of leverage and money can just start making decisions, and we can't pay attention because we don't know what the heck is going on, and it's frustrating. When did just everyone having like a home and a family become evil all of a sudden? And like something you have to sell your whole frickin' soul and work your whole frickin' life for, and no, you don't get to enjoy vacations or extra clothing. You just have to work for this little roof over your head and to feed your 2 kids something semi-decent. That is very strange. Oh, and if you get a minor surgery, no, your insurance won't really cover it and it's gonna cost you 30 grand. Like, what is happening? What is happening? And I go back and forth between if I still have it or I don't, but so much optimism that like we can return to some state of just normalcy, and I just don't understand why we're not. And it's funny because a lot of people who are very, very on the extreme sides of conservative or liberal perspectives claim to be, I feel like both sides claim to be so like open-minded. They're like, well, we're the most welcoming, we're the most inclusive. But as soon as somebody is like very different from them, all of a sudden that inclusivity out the window. Both sides. This is not just a one-sided thing, and it's starting to piss me off. How on earth are you supposed to expect someone in the middle of Nebraska to understand your mentality in the middle of Manhattan? How? How? And blocking them or yelling at them or claiming they are wrong immediately ain't gonna get you anywhere. Did that ever get somebody else somewhere when they did that to you? I don't think so. And I'm not saying one is right or wrong. I'm saying we need to stop necessarily getting every single person everywhere to agree with every single thing that we personally happen to think. We are all incredibly different, and we need to find a coexistence point. There are some people who like to live more conservatively than others. That is okay. There are people who like to live more liberally than others. That is okay. And we need to get back to a point where that can happen and everyone can live safely, work safely, and not make others feel unsafe or threatened, but be able to coexist. And that's why different cities exist the way that they do. Different cities, different places, different vibes. People move around, they find communities that they mesh with, and that is okay. It's become so extreme, and everyone claims to be so understanding and so inclusive, and then they are not. Not really. Not really. If somebody has, it's really interesting. And I don't know how to change that. And I would like to think that more education helps, but where are we getting the education from? What do we read? What do we trust at this point? And at what point is personal growth and healing a part of that conversation? Like, how much, if you've never left your town, maybe I can't even blame you for not even understanding how to accept that somebody could be so different and have it not be a bad thing. I mean, that's the upside potentially of having the internet, but when algorithms are curated to you and what you consume, that changes it too. I don't know how to work through all of these things. I don't have answers. I don't have a direction that I feel we're moving towards positively. Yeah, on top of all that, I'm trying to just be a better me. I'm trying to learn from my own triggers and traumas and little outbursts and like adjust those things. I've really been trying to, this is why I started this, I've really been trying to curtail my yap because I've been told by people who have not said it nicely, but that I talk too much and it doesn't need to be all about me and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I never was intending for it to be all about me. I just like to talk. I thought we were having a conversation. I thought sharing was a way of connecting. And like, again, that's probably the oversharing. I've talked about it in therapy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Trauma, blah, blah, blah. So I'm trying to yap less in, not here. Here we yap all day. Ha ha ha, yap, yap, yap. But in public, out in the real world, whenever I'm having dinner or whenever I'm meeting somebody new or whenever there's like a group hanging out, my mind is going so fast. There's so many little things about like somebody's outfit that I like, or somebody else got a haircut, or I want to ask how someone's kid is doing, or make a funny joke about this one thing that they just said and have it be a pun based off of the comment they said yesterday, or asking if somebody wants a tea because I'm gonna go get a tea. It's just so loud up here. It's constant. I'm pretty sure many people can understand that feeling. It seems to be something that is shared between many hyperactive, spectrum-y individuals. But yeah, it's just loud. So there's all the stuff with the world in California and myself, and I haven't gone to the gym in like too long. And and then my skin, and like it takes longer for me to get ready. My foundation is now like cakey, and I can't tell if it's because my skin is changing or if it's because the foundation is a year old, because I don't make it through a whole bottle in a timely manner because I don't like to wear too much of it. So it's like, maybe I need to buy a new one. Maybe I should try a different brand. That whole conversation just happens every single time I'm putting on my makeup now. But when do I have the time to answer all those questions? You tell me. It's just very loud. It's a lot going on in my brain, and I'm thinking about my mom and thinking about my grandparents and thinking about my future unborn children and whoever my husband is going to be, and the fact that I need to repaint my nails, and the fact that the middle piercing of my 3 piercings on this earlobe is a tiny bit higher than the other 2 because I was stubborn. And when I got the second one done, the middle one, at Claire's, she had it down the first time, because she's a professional. But it didn't really seem like the middle of my lobe. So I was like, oh, can we move it up a little bit? It seems like it's not really in the middle. And she was like, sure. And so then we put it there. But then the third one is back down a little bit. I didn't really check that one. And so now they're slightly uneven. And every time I put in my earrings, we get to have that thought process every single time. I'd love to turn it off, but how can I when it's right there? So I'm sure there's a drug that could fix this. But what makes me nervous about that is that some of my friends or some people that I know who then do get the drug to help the speeding, racing mind, which I'm unsure if that's just ADHD or autism or an anxiety disorder or both, but because I'm not really having a panic attack, it's just kind of worrying, or I don't know. But then they kind of become numb, and that scares me. I don't think I want to be numb. And maybe not. Then there are some people where they're very functional and they still feel lots of things, but they're able to be a little bit more, capable, present, less overwhelmed, perhaps. But I just don't. I don't know. I just don't trust it. I don't know. I've made it this far, right? And I've been successful in accomplishing many things, and I do think that there have been really positive moments of self-discipline when it comes to deciding to include a new habit. My skincare routine was an arduous kind of decision-making trial and error process, and I found something that is really working for me. And I also am trying to include new shifts every now and then. I know that that's kind of a silly example, but we talked about lots of things in this particular episode of Hotel Room Yap. I just woke up this morning and I felt kind of depressed before going and talking to a bunch of people, and I was like, nothing bad has really happened, but then again, kind of lots of bad things have happened. Ugh. Yeah. So anyway, this perhaps has been a slightly different tone of a Hotel Room Yap, but perhaps you can relate, or if anything, perhaps understand where maybe some of your friends are coming from when they mention feeling like this, or mention their minds are racing at a mile a minute. And it's okay, it's normal, perhaps if you do feel these things, I'm here to share space with you in the feelings of madness happening up in the brain. Lots of things moving around. Yeah. And on top of all that too, when you are talking to somebody that you care about, and they're just I don't know, shooting down everything you say and laughing at it, not a great feeling. Not a great feeling. So that on top of it adds in. And then, your mom makes some comment. It just piles up. Journaling helps, working out helps, therapy helps. Yes, of course. And that's, I think, why I'm supposed to be a creative, and why going into medicine would have not worked for me, because I just need an outlet for how freaking full it gets up here. My God, here and here, both. We need a funnel, because there's no way this can all stay in here. There's not enough room. Anyway, I do not mean for this to be all doom and gloomy. I feel so bad because I feel like a lot of it has felt like, oh my gosh, it's just the most end of the world thing ever, and I'm such a victim, and blah 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 blah. It is not meant to be that way. I am simply sharing where my brain is whenever I'm feeling a little low. And I'm not thinking, oh my gosh, this really is the end. I'm just thinking of reality, really. I still have the optimism because humanity keeps evolving and existing. And I know so many great people. I know a couple crappy people, but I know some amazing freaking people in this world who are kind and creative and actually inclusive, and who listen and ponder and weigh differences and change their mind and apologize and learn and are confident and stand up for themselves and stand on their own business. It's just, there are really great people in the world, okay? They're good people. We will find each other. There are many of us. We will continue to grow, find other cool people. It'll be great. Okay, I should take off my makeup and this coat. Oh, but I love this coat. And go to bed because it is... Oh, yes, it's late. Not terribly late. We've been being actually decent with the sleeping. Somewhere usually between 11:30, I know, 11:30 and 1:30 for the past couple weeks. Been pretty good. Waking up like at 7:30 in the morning. Naturally. Crazy. Okay, before I go, you thought I forgot? No, it was right there. Ha ha ha, the whole time. Creative act wave being Rick Rubin. We're going to flip to a fun little section in here. And then just, yeah, find our fun little phrase to end our yap session. Alright, let's see what the book gives us this evening. We all yearn to establish new, healthy, productive habits, such as exercising, eating more local natural foods, or practicing our craft more regularly. But how often do we consider examining and removing the habits that currently drive our days? How often do we regard behaviors accepted as the way people are, or the way we are, merely as habits? How often do we consider examining and removing the habits that currently drive our days? How often do we regard behaviors accepted as the way people are, or the way we are, merely as habits? I think that is a very helpful point in regard to some of my yapping earlier. I think in order to change, you have to discard previous bits of yourself, and that can be terrifying. We are creatures of habit. We like familiarity, we like routine, and we like the things that we are used to. And in order to grow and change, which if you aren't constantly doing, by the way, you are stalled. You are not in motion. You are kind of frozen. You've got to do the scary thing in order to be the best version of you, I guess. Which is true. Anytime you're in an era of like life that you really like, if you try to stay in that and like cling too much to it, it like starts to change, and if you don't change with it, then you're just clinging onto this like weird version of it that doesn't necessarily exist anymore. And it's like that version of reality doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. You have to keep growing and changing. But that also means that when things aren't great, things will grow and change. There will be a new era. There will be a next day. So yeah, that habit thing is an interesting note to end on for this episode. Thank you guys for joining me. I have a feeling this was a particularly long yap session. There was a lot up in the brain. So, alright. Thank you so much for joining. I will see you next time. Bye, guys.